Who, what, when, where, and why. In this series, I'll be asking the 5 W's of a certain topic. This is spoiler free as best I can. Today's topic: does BVS suck? Who? Let's talk about the cast. Not every character in the movie's perfect, but they're not all flawed by any means. Fuck you, Rotten Tomatoes. Let's start off strong and in alphabetical order with Batman. Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck portrays an older, more begrudged Batman and Bruce Wayne. And out of all the people who've portrayed Batman and Bruce Wayne, I have to give it up for Ben because he played both of them excellently. In the past, you've had Michael Keaton, who played a really good Bruce Wayne, but not that good of a Batman. And you've had Christian Bale, who played a really good Batman, but not a good Bruce Wayne. Clark Kent, Henry Cavill, Superman. Wasn't a big fan of his original portrayal of Superman. Not that it's a bad movie, it looks excellent, and the story isn't particularly terrible. It's just it's hard to make a good Superman movie. Henry Cavill's Superman isn't particularly my favorite portrayal of Superman. It's also not the worst. In the movie, he's a strong character, but he never really feels like the Man of Steel. Granted, you see him perform amazing feats of strength, and he flies, and the only thing missing is that da 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 da. But he just doesn't feel like Superman. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. Diana Prince. Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. Diana Prince. She looks the part, and when you put her in the armor with the shield, and I mean, she just looks like Wonder Woman. She just doesn't sound like Wonder Woman. She's exotic, and by exotic I mean I believe she's Israeli, which is exotic to people. I mean, it's not American, so it's exotic to me. USA, USA. The unfortunate part about her is when she talks in the movie, it feels like she's reading the lines off of a plank of wood 4 foot in front of her. There's no convey of emotion. Not that she really has enough lines in the movie to convey emotion. Let's hope that standalone movie is amazing. Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor. Jesse Eisenberg is no one except for, I guess, the cast, the person in charge of casting for the movie's first choice of Lex Luthor. And he's like 40% there. 40% there. He's not spectacular, but he's not terrible. It's like he plays Mark Zuckerberg, Lex Luthor. I don't know. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Now, those are your main cast. Does it suck? No. Because you got a decent collection of actors in this movie putting together a well-rounded story. The unfortunate part is it just seems like they just do too much. That was the downfall of Age of Ultron. Now you've got a pretty good cast of supporting actors: Amy Adams, Jeremy Irons, Holly Hunter, and Diane Lane, as well as Lawrence Fishburne, and that's all I care about. You've also got some cameos and some that aren't even listed. Oh, one of my favorite things is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the comedian from The Watchmen, plays Bruce Wayne's dad. It was cool. So our cast of heroes and villains, solid. I'll give it a 60 out of 100. Come on, Rotten Tomato. Obviously, Amy Adams is closer to being a starring role, but she is still technically supporting in that everything she does relies on Superman. She plays Lois Lane. That's not a spoiler. Jeremy Irons plays Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's beloved, trusted manservant? Butler? Butler. What? What about the movie might suck? I'd have to bring it down to two things make this movie possibly suck. Number one, they do too much. The problem is you kind of have this lack of setup for a fight. Like, there's this initial setup and you're like, oh man, awesome, and you lose it quick. And then you get what seems like a rushed setup for Batman and Superman to fight. It's rough. But just that one part. The rest of the movie's pretty smooth. 2. The movie's kind of meta. Like, there's all these jokes all the time about, like, literally Lawrence Fishburne says, no one's interested in Clark Kent versus Batman. You know, they just do those kinds of things, and it's like, they're saying, fuck you, Marvel and your jokes. We can make jokes too. We're DC, bitch. And no, they can't. When? Now, it's hard to say when would this suck. So what I'll say is it sucks that it wasn't back then. You know, we didn't have this movie. There's a cop. I don't know if you can hear it. We didn't have this movie 3 years ago. Yeah. I would have traded the third Dark Knight movie for this. Not to say it wasn't bad, because then I wouldn't have an awesome Bane impersonation.
Yes, you merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it.
Huh? Candle smells good. At least that was a good part about that. Am I upset that we're getting it now? Absolutely not. It was fun to watch. I had a good time. Where? Now it gets kind of confusing because I didn't know that Gotham City and Metropolis were so close, apparently. You could fucking swim between them. Now it's kind of accepted that Gotham City is in New Jersey. And it's also accepted that Metropolis is in New York. And as I'm looking at a map of New York and New Jersey, I guess acceptable? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and read you what Google has to say, or what Google found. There are several other comics that place Gotham City in New Jersey with references to proximity. I'm assuming that means they meant to say proximity to Jersey Shore and Hudson County. Based on the No Man's Land, I believe it's now generally accepted that it's located south of New York City in the state of New Jersey, situated on the coast. I can't read well. Geographically, New York City, Gotham, and Metropolis are supposed to be on the East Coast. I've never heard what state they are in, although the main university in Gotham is supposed to be in Gotham State, which would suggest that Gotham City is the main city of Gotham State. Okay, so where's Metropolis? Well, it depends on which Metropolis you're asking about. In the comics, the answer may surprise you. The exact location of Metropolis in the United States has never been canonically established. Although Superman creators Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, if I butchered that, I'm so sorry, lived in Cleveland, they never established a canonical hometown for their iconic creation. During the Silver Age era, Metropolis was firmly established as a coastal city on the eastern seaboard, but it was never established which U.S. state it was located in. On January 21st, 1972, DC Comics declared Metropolis, Illinois as the hometown of Superman. So we're running into some minor continuity issues. Which, if you're a nerd, that sucks. So does the where suck? Yeah. Yeah. Why? Why are we getting these movies? Well, we're kind of at a transitional phase in DC. We will not be getting any more Nolan vs. Batman movies, which sucks. That's a whole nother video. And we might not get another good Batman movie, even though I didn't like Man of Steel. We're in a good time for a Justice League movie. Flash and Arrow are doing excellent on TV. The Flash is doing better. If we don't get it now, we'll never get it. Does that make sense? I don't know that I could better explain it. If they waited another year, I wouldn't give a shit. Marvel would own the cinematic universe, period. DC would always own the animated universe, but that's only a small portion of movies and DVDs and Blu-rays and illegal downloads. Let's be real. This is where I score the movie similar to what Rotten Tomatoes would do with a percentage. Currently it's sitting on 30% at Rotten Tomato. That's rough. But it's got an audience score of 74. That just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to give it a 65. I can't quite give it a 70. And I'm nowhere near 74 like the audience apparently. What are you doing? What movie are you guys watching? So if you like the movie, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, let me know as well. Just smash that like button, guys. In all seriousness, if you like what I'm doing, give me a like, share on social media, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Wow, Divergent got 11%. 11.